hammer work has been really where my heart lies. I find it to be very interesting, and it takes a lot of skill to do it well. My name is Martha Hopkins. I'm a silversmith. I grew up in my father's studio, Henry Hopkins, and watched him do beautiful handmade, hand-raised pieces. It always sparked my interest and imagination. My father, Henry Powell Hopkins Jr., opened the shop in 1950. When I was a kid, I watched him, make and, hand make a lot of really interesting and beautiful pieces.
My name is Kerry Stagmer. I'm a sword maker. I've been making pieces by hand for about 25 years. Over the last 10 years, my interest has changed a fair amount to finer work and traditional work specifically. And because of that, I kind of started searching out people who could teach that type of work, who still had the knowledge and still had the willingness to share it, and were working. And those people in this industry are kind of few and far between at this point.
The majority of people don't understand the beauty of handmade, hand hammered silver. A lot of it, or the majority of it nowadays, is spun. It's a manufacturing process. Most of the silver that people are familiar with is spun, which means that it's a fraction of the time. And if you have to make multiples, it's really the best way to go. Hand hammered silver tends to be more one of a kind. It tends to be carried on by the artisan instead of the manufacturing side.
It is incredibly time consuming. Something that could take a production machine to make a kind of a lifeless imitation of only a few minutes can take a week to make by hand. And it is not the same, even though functionally it may simply be a cup or a goblet. It's quite a different thing when you see a handmade piece like that.
As you become more comfortable with the process and the way the hammer feels and which stakes to use, then you do speed up, and you can look at a drawing and kind of know where to start and stop with each part of the process, and you get used to a rhythm of the hammer work, and you just it's kind of meditative, you just kind of go to it, and I find it very relaxing.
Every blow, inside or outside of the work, has to be very deliberate and thought ahead.
When you're trying to explain things to someone else, and especially someone you're trying to teach, you don't remember the path that got you to where you are. So you're kind of having to, relive it and relearn it. And it's been, I enjoy teaching. I think it's a tradition worth carrying on, and it's important to keep these traditions alive. There's too much of it. There's too much of our skill and our traditions that are no longer in existence.